Welcome back to Local 4 News Over Coffee. Restaurants and other businesses were forced to close or scale back as a way to keep people safe at the outset of the pandemic. Skinny's Barbecue in Muscatine was one, as well as the Muscatine Area Farmers Market. We're going to talk to Jennifer DeFosse from the Farmers Market and Cord Kleist from Skinny's Barbecue. Welcome both of you. Cord, we're going to start with you and barbecue. I guess first of all, when did you open your business?
September of 19, so right before the winter.
Before things really took hold.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't know what was coming. What's been that time has been like?
Was forced to adapt. I mean, there was things that nobody had the answers. There wasn't a book that you could read to find how do you deal with this. So we just kind of leaned more towards carry out and letting people know that we're one of the restaurants in town that you can order your food ahead. It's ready on the counter. You just walk in, grab it, or we'll run it out to you at the curb as well. I mean, like I said, just adapting to what COVID had made us do.
So basically within 6 months of your opening, you were dealing. What was it like that moment it hit and you realized, I made this investment to do that? What was that moment like?
It was a little scary. But I think that's one of the things, one of my best qualities is I react to things. I've come up with this, I adapt, I guess. Find a way to make it work, you know what I mean? It's like you said, you make that investment, you're like, uh-oh. There's no backing out now. You got all your equipment and everything, so we just had to find a way to make it work.
So how did you find a way to make it work? You talking about carry out, certainly.
Yeah,
a lot of restaurants relied on that. Was there anything else you guys had to do?
We did carry out, and then some local businesses that had like caterers in weekly moved more towards like box lunches to where it wasn't buffet style. So we started doing some box lunches, and Monsanto, or it was Bayer now, and in town was doing like 250 box lunches once a week from local restaurants in town, and that helped a ton. And then also challenged our employees to how do you put 250 meals together and serve people in that amount of time too. But we made it work, and now we're better than we ever were at it. And
barbecue across this country ranges in style, whether you're in North Carolina or the South, Kansas City, out west. It does vary, and I'm a barbecue fan myself personally. How would you classify your type of barbecue, and what kind of food do you offer?
So it's Texas style is what I was aiming for, more dry rub. All the sauces are on the side, so brisket, pork, ribs, chicken, just the seasoning and the sauces are on the side for you to choose. We have a few different kinds.
I'm an amateur when it comes to smoking, but I still give it a shot. Now, I understand you have something on the menu called an armadillo egg. Now, I'm sure you haven't done any genetic engineering, so please tell me what an armadillo egg is.
Sausage and bacon-wrapped jalapeno stuffed with brisket cream cheese. So we make them in-house. We made like jalapeno poppers, and the cream cheese there's no way to keep the cream cheese inside of them, so we wrapped them with sausage, and it keeps it all contained until you cut into it, and then it falls apart.
You know, it's a TV faux pas to come on a program like this and not bring any samples.
I know,
so
I
I'm
apologize.
really disappointed.
Well, my son's out there, so I wasn't at work before this.
All right, Cord, thanks. We're going to talk to Jennifer. The farmers market is certainly a popular draw in most communities. I'm sure Muscatine is no different. How long has it been going on here?
So we are almost at 30 years. We're at our 28th season right now. So
how did the pandemic hit the farmers market? What were you able to do? How much did it slow you down?
last year was really challenging. Right before we were set to open, the governor had announced a proclamation that set us back by a month, so we weren't able to open until June, and when we did open, we weren't allowed to have any crafters, so it was just food items. So that was hard. It was hard to have to tell a huge section of my vendors, sorry, you can't set up yet.
Were people still happy to come and support the farmers market?
People were thrilled. I was really concerned with the late start that we got, that it was going to have a huge economic impact on my vendors, and it wasn't the case. I mean, it was, but in a positive way. The community support that we got last year and this year has been overwhelming. It's been our two busiest seasons since the history of the market.
What kind of rallying did you see from the community? You talk about two biggest seasons. How can you compare it to years past? Are you able to quantify that in any way?
We don't have actual numbers, but my vendors themselves have said that sales have been consistently higher these past two seasons, and I think it's because people were so happy to be able to have some sense of normalcy. And also, they felt safe shopping there. We took a lot of safety measures. We worked with Mayor Broderson and Rich Climbs, and as I mentioned, the governor. So it was a safe place to shop, and it also felt normal, you know?
What did you have to do for farmers, if anything, to support them during that time?
So I'm sorry.
Did you have to go out of your way for farmers? Because certainly it was tough for them to showcase their wares and their products. Did you have to do anything for them
It
above and
wasn't
beyond?
as bad as you would think. We had a lot of safety protocols in place, but there was no lack of support from the community. Our community rallied around the market in a big way, and people, I don't think I heard from a single vendor who didn't report record sales last year. So
That's a fantastic.
It really is.
When you think about that, take all that in consideration. I guess quickly before we go, we talked to the mayor a moment ago. We talked about the increase in cases. How concerned, I guess, are either of you about them? Quickly, are you concerned about that at all and what you're doing?
I'm not. With our setting, it feels like a safe environment. We're outside, we're distanced. People wear masks if they want to. We don't require it at this point, but most of our vendors are vaccinated. So.
Fantastic. Well, Cord Kleist, Jennifer DeFosse, thank you both for the conversation.
Thank you.
Continued success for both of you. So we certainly got more to come on Local 4 News over coffee. A little later, we'll talk with Muscatine's Parks and Recreation Director and learn about the library, what they've done to keep people active in this community. Right now, we'll send things back to Ann Sterling in the studio. Ann?
All right, Jim, we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Thank you. Up next, another employer in the QC requiring the vaccine. How many major companies are now saying get the shot or get